Alright guys, so now in this part of the program, I'm actually going to talk about something really important, which is, let's say you're getting a bunch of visitors to your store, but you're not making any money. So I kind of want to go over exactly what you should do if that's happening. So I'm going to use this store as an example here, just a random dropshipping store. I just randomly found it. And basically here, what I want to show you guys is the store in general. So first, I'm going to show you the product page because we don't really care about the home page. All your customers are just going to be redirected to the product, and so that's all we care about. So first thing I'm going to say, what I don't like about this here is I don't like how there's all these tags here. You can easily remove these tags. I already showed you guys how to remove them way back. So just make sure you don't have something like this. It makes it look really unprofessional. Same with this here. You don't want that either. And another thing I'm going to say, what I don't like is how the font is pink. I just feel like having like a colorful font, it just makes the store look a little bit less professional. I would stick to like a black. Black's probably the best. Now let's click on one of the products, because the most important part, of course, has to be the product page. If the product page doesn't look good, then basically no one's going to end up buying, right? You want to convert the customer. So let's click on this one here and see how it looks. Okay, so first thing, again, obviously make sure you change the color. Don't make it pink, make it black. And the photo here is fine, not bad. You know, it's a decent photo. Let's take a look here and see. So we have a bunch of photos, which is good. Obviously, you want to have a bunch of photos for the customer to see. Now let's take a look here. I'd say this description needs a lot of work, in my opinion. So basically here you have this, which in my opinion, the format it's in isn't as professional. I already showed you guys basically how you should do that. Same thing here, like feature, you can tell it just doesn't look that nice. You obviously want to make some words bold because the customer doesn't want to read all this, right? So what I would do personally, just like bold the main features. So like maybe bold this, because like that's like the main point, right? So you want to make sure the customer sees that information. And as for reviews, I will say that's probably the most important part. And the thing that sucks with this is there's only, let's see how many reviews there is. So this is very poorly done here. There's not enough reviews, and it's also the most important part would actually be photo reviews. So if there's no photo reviews, that's gonna definitely kind of turn customers off because they want to see that. And I'll say, 5 definitely is not enough in my opinion, so this needs some work. So I'm going to show you guys maybe a better example of what you should be doing with your store if it looks like this, because I'll be honest with you guys, this is a real business. You have to make it look good. Customers get turned off really quickly if it doesn't look good. Like there's so many other businesses that you're competing with, and so just by like slapping on like a random description and like random products and just not making it look good, obviously means you're not going to do well, right? So let's take a look here and see a different store that actually is doing really well. Okay, so here's a store we can use as an example. This store, I'll give you guys the URL later so you can use it as an example, but basically it's called Dreamlights, and I like how the logo looks clean. Everything so far looks clean to me. Now we have some high quality photos here, and the text is black, which is important. They only have 24 reviews. I think 24 reviews is actually pretty good. I think anything more than like 10 to 15 would be best. And as you can see here, looks pretty good. They have this here, which I don't recommend having this. Customers usually don't like when you're too pushy. I don't know. I don't really recommend that. But what I like is the description. That has to be the most important part. So I'm going to scroll through really quickly. And the first thing you can see here is that they use a lot of photos on the store. Now, the reason you want photos, of course, is to kind of just display the product in action. Because as a customer, of course, are you going to be wanting to read like a bunch of paragraphs? Definitely not. Like when I go through on like a store, if there's just a bunch of paragraphs of writing, I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to scroll through it. And so it's so important to have a lot of pictures, or even something like this. This is not a picture, it's like a GIF. And I already showed you guys GIFs before. I highly recommend finding these. It's really nice to have on your product page. So first, let's start off and see what he says. Gone are the days of boring LED strips with the less than 10 color options. So there you go. The first thing he does is presents a problem for you, and now he's going to solve it, saying, introducing Dreamlights, the world's first manual programmed LED strip lights with over 120 unique color options. This right here is perfect, obviously, because he tells you the problem and then he solves it for you. Like I told you guys, it's a hook. You need to have that. And then again, here he has basically showing how it works. He gives you some jot notes here, more photos showing how it works, more photos. And basically, it's perfect like this because he doesn't have too much words, but he actually has photos showing how it works, which is so much nicer to look at, right? You want to look at paragraphs. And obviously it has some bold writing. So obviously what you want to do is bold the words that basically you want the customer to look at, because if you have a huge paragraph, you just want to highlight some parts that the customer needs to read. So I like how he's doing that. And if you keep scrolling down here, everything else looks really nice in my opinion. I like how he's using photos and paragraphs. So I would use this store as an example for what your store should look like, to be honest, because if you just have it like this, it just looks so dull and boring, right? Like a customer's gonna look at this and think like the store is just like not professional, and like the product itself, it's pretty decent product, right? But if you don't have a nice product page, then no one's going to buy the product. So of course you have to be more creative and try your best to actually make the store look really nice like this. And another thing I'm going to say as well, they have photo reviews. This is so important because customers want to see customers' opinion on it. And so if you have photo reviews, that's going to be really helpful. And just so you guys have the URL of the store so you can actually use this exact store as an example for your own, I'm going to have the link of the store basically in the next part of the course so you can click on it and check it out and just use it as an example. So yeah, that's the first problem when dropshipping, why most people don't actually make money, because their store just doesn't look professional. And obviously the homepage, I'll be honest, it doesn't really matter too much because your customers aren't going to be coming to the homepage. They're going to go right to your product page. So that's obviously the most important part. But yeah, just obviously try to make your homepage look professional. Now, another reason why you might not be getting sales is maybe because your product isn't that good. And that's fine. If you have a product that isn't doing well and you feel like it's just not going to work out, that's 100% fine. What you can do, don't be scared to close down the store and start a new store. I do it all the time. Even today, like when I start stores, sometimes I don't do well, and that's fine. I always close them down and start a new one. So you can't expect every single store that you start to be successful. It just takes some time to really find the product that you like and that is going to work long term. And especially because it is your first store, you can't expect it to do really well in the beginning because you are still learning. It's all about trial and error. You just have to try new things out, see what works, see what doesn't, and then just improve things as you go. And one more thing I want to say why you're not getting sales but you're getting visitors is because sometimes the audience on your store are not high quality visitors. And what I mean by this is, let's say you're running Facebook ads. So when you run Facebook ads, you're actually targeting people who like this specific product. But let's say you're posting TikToks, it's a little bit different because you're not actually targeting people that might want this, but maybe they're just curious and they want to browse your store. So not every single customer that comes on your store is actually an interested customer. So that's just something you need to keep in mind as well. But regardless, all you have to do is keep on trying new things, keep on updating things, and I promise you eventually you will see success.